Welcome to the fourth and final lesson in this third module. This one is all about what to do with your videos after you've made them. So we're going to be talking about where you store your videos and how you share them with other people. In this lesson, we're going to go over how you can do this with Tella. We're also going to talk briefly about how you can do this with other tools, and then we're going to look at a practical example of how to embed your videos that you've made on a website, which is a really popular use case for any entrepreneur. Of course, you want your content on the front page of your business, and that is usually your website. So let's look at how this works in Tella. And I've said a few times already that Tella is one of these all-in-one tools, which means you can not just record and edit, but you can also host all your videos and make it really easy to share with other people. So let's jump back into the app and see how it all works. So we're back in the Tella editor, and now that we've finished working on our masterpiece, we want to share this with someone. Now, all of our work is automatically saved into our account on the web. We don't need to upload it. We don't need to hit save. That all happens for us automatically. So all that's left for us to do after finishing working on our video is to hit finish. And that will take us to the view page for the video. So this is the page that your viewers will see. They obviously won't have access to all of these tools. They'll just get access to watch the video. So to share a video with someone, you can simply copy the video's link, or you can grab the URL from the address bar and then send that to someone via chat or email. When they click on that link, they'll get taken to this page where they can hit play. Hey, Grant here from Tella, and watch the video. Yes. Now, the next thing about Tella, which I haven't mentioned, which is probably worth mentioning now, is that Tella automatically transcribes everything that you say in your video. You don't need to write these subtitles manually. It all happens for you. And you can also head over here and hit edit and then correct any mistakes that you might see show up. And that happens instantly. So if I wanted to change my name to Steve, you can see that that automatically changes there right away. There are a couple other ways that you can share your video. So if you head down here and press share, you'll get a few extra options here. You can see the URL that you want to copy, but you can also use the email sharing option. So if you select that, you'll get a GIF that will generate, and this is something that you can copy and paste into an email. Now, the reason why it's nice to be able to share your video as a GIF over email is that it helps click-through rates. So if you're sending it to a customer or a prospect, then this is going to be much more motivating to click on than a plain old link. So all you need to do is hit copy to clipboard, and you'll be able to paste this GIF exactly as you see here into your email client. Now, the other cool thing you can do is you can actually pick a different timestamp in the video just by typing it in here, and that will generate a new GIF from that moment in the video. So a handy thing to do is to go and find an interesting part of the video, maybe where there's some action on screen, type in the seconds here, and you'll get a much more exciting GIF that you can share over email, again helping you improve the click-through rate there. Now, if we head back, the other sharing option that's worth mentioning is the embed. Now, I'm not going to go into this in detail right now because we're going to go through that later in an example, but this is the window that you'll use and the tools that you use to embed your video on a website or some other external source. Sometimes though, embedding doesn't quite cut it. If you want to publish your video to YouTube or to Twitter or LinkedIn or somewhere like that, you'll need the actual MP4 file of your video so that you can upload it to those places. So let me show you how you do that. Head over to the right here and click download, and then you'll see a bunch of different options that you have before downloading your video. You can download the subtitles as a separate subtitle file. You can switch on 4K. You can export the video as separate clips. So if you remember, we recorded quite a few clips or created quite a few clips in our video. If you wanted, you could export the video as a series of those clips in a zip file instead of it all being combined as one. This is handy if you want to do extra editing in a more advanced video editing software. And then lastly, you can choose to burn in the subtitles so that they're part of the video file. When you've picked all of the settings that you want, just hit start export and the download process will begin. Now, as you record more and more videos, you'll start to build up quite a bit of a library, and Tella helps you manage all of that in the cloud. So over here, you can see I've got a number of different channels to organize all of my videos. The videos for this course that you're watching all live in this channel here. I've also got a channel where I categorize all the cool videos that make really good examples that I want to share with other people. How you categorize and organize your videos is totally up to you. You can make channels for anything, but the key thing here is that you'll be able to quickly access the videos either by searching through the channels or typing in the search bar, and then all it takes to edit, watch, or share the video is to click on it, and you've got access to edit. You can grab the link to share, you can download, or you can hit play here. Now, if you're not using Tella to record and edit your videos, you might need to think about an extra tool in order to host your videos online, which is usually the better option than keeping them on your desktop. So something like Google Drive or Wistia, which I mentioned in the second module, are good options. Google Drive is a bit cheaper and has lets you store a number of different files in there. Wistia is probably a bit more expensive, but more specialized and focused on video. And there's a bunch of other tools that kind of fit into those two broader categories as well. YouTube is another thing that's worth mentioning as well, because you can just upload a video to YouTube and you don't have to publish it to the entire world. You can keep it unlisted or private and just store your videos there for no one else to see. But of course, the main benefit with YouTube is that it's very easy to publish and other people can watch your content. So for this last part of this lesson, we're going to go through an example of how to embed a video that we've made in Tella onto a website. This is a really popular use case for entrepreneurs. The website is the front page of most of our businesses, and we want to be able to get a demo on there, a tutorial, or some information about our product. And so we're going to go through that step by step. Now, for this example, I'm going to be embedding a video into a website made with Framer, which is a simple online website builder, but the principle and steps will be roughly the same if you host your website or build your website on something like Webflow or WordPress. So here's the video that we're going to embed in our website, and the website is here hosted on Framer. So the first thing I'm going to do is to add a block to my website, which is going to let me embed external content. And again, if you are working in Webflow or WordPress, you should have a similar kind of block that you can add to your website. So in Framer's case, I go down to the insert option, utility, and then I'm going to select the embed option. So I can just drag that and paste that here. And then on the right-hand side, I can edit the embed components properties. And I'm going to want to switch to HTML because that's where I can embed the full iframe from Tella. So if I switch now back to Tella and go to share, this time we can go to the embed option, and here we can just grab the embed code by clicking copy and jump back in here and paste that into that field. And if you give that a second, that generates our video. So we can see that it's been added in there. It looks a little bit strange, so we can modify some of the properties in here. So you can just drag this to make it a little bit wider, and then maybe we can make that kind of fit a bit nicer. And then for each of our breakpoints, we can kind of adjust that to make sure that this is going to fit nicely on each of our sizes. So that's looking a little bit better. So it's as simple as that, as embedding an iframe, but there are a few other things that we can play around with. So if I head back into Tella, you can see I've got all these options on here. So the first one you can see is that the title and avatar are visible. So this will display the title, and depending on the size, also the avatar of the owner. If you don't want that visible, you can switch this off. You can also switch off the record your own button if you like. And you can choose if you want it to autoplay on mute. And then the other handy one is that maybe you don't want the GIF thumbnail, so we can switch that off. You can also decide if you want to have it loop so that once it gets to the end, it'll play back again. And so now I can copy the embed code again, head back into Framer, and then update the code here with the new one. And so you can see now we don't have that looping GIF preview, we just have a static one. And so now if we go and hit preview on this, we'll see that we have our static video. We can press play. Grant here from Tella. And it's as easy as that. So one more thing that I want to show you is how to embed your videos from Tella into Notion, which is another really popular use case because of how popular Notion is with entrepreneurs and small businesses, because it's an easy way to host information, documentation, and it's super easy to add videos in there. So let me quickly show you how that works. So back in Tella, I want to grab the link to the how to customize and edit video, and I want to head into Notion, the Tella knowledge base, and I want to update the editing section of the Tella knowledge base. And so here we're going to see that we have this old video, and I can just click on this and hit delete and remove that. And instead I can now go and paste that link, and what Notion will prompt you with is whether you want to create an embed. So instead of just displaying this link, we want to actually embed the video. So if we press that, give it a second, it will fetch the video for us. And so now I can just expand that, and now I've got a video embedded nicely inside of my Notion document. Super easy. So that is the end of the fourth lesson in this module, the final lesson in this module. I hope you've been able to learn how to share your videos from Tella, how to download them, and how to embed them on other sites, as well as some ideas about what other options you have if you are creating your videos with something other than Tella.